Hello YouTube, welcome to another video upload here on the channel. Today's video is going to be the almost top 10 things I hate about my 2018 Mustang Ecoboost with the Performance Pack. I probably could have came up with a list of 10, but a lot of the items were, interior features that would have been, if I would have got the premium version of this car, those wouldn't even have been issues, so I'm not going to go over some of those items. So I will not, so it's top 10 or top 7 out of 10, and this will not be in any particular order. I'm just going to start going off at random here. So this is not in any particular order as far as what I hate the most. So number one, I'm going to start with manual mode. I love this transmission, the 10-speed auto, and I was really excited about getting this car because it had the paddle shifters, but honestly, I find myself not using it because there's quite a bit of a delay, at least I feel quite a bit of a delay between shifts, especially when upshifting. It's really bad from first to second. It's not necessarily as bad, I don't know why, when you're going through the higher gears, but from first to second, seems like there's quite a bit of a lag there, and I just find myself not using that feature very often. I'll just put it in sport mode and let the or track mode. I'll just let the transmission shift itself. So that's number one. And of course, obviously, I realize this isn't a dual clutch. Most of the transmissions probably aren't, the most responsive as far as when you're manually shifting them. But I do wish it was a little quicker. Number two, everything that doesn't happen after 4,000 RPMs. And what I mean is, by the way this thing completely falls flat at 4,000 RPMs, as far as the amount of torque that drops off. And when I was looking at this car, people were saying how it kind of falls flat at 4, but until you actually drive it, you just can't appreciate how uninspiring it is after 4,000 RPM. I do plan on getting, and I'll bring it to another quick point here, I do plan on getting the Ford Tune, which, helps fix that, kind of takes it from, basically you get that torque all the way through 5,600 RPM. It doesn't fall dead at like 4,000, and that's really why I want to do it. Not so much because of the small horsepower increase or overall torque increase, but just to where it goes, it doesn't fall flat at 4. You go up into the higher RPM range, and the engine's still fun and responsive.
Yeah.
That's actually another reason I don't drive around so much in manual mode. Not just the lag and shifting, or from gear to gear, but when you're driving around manually shifting, a lot of times you find yourself around that 4,000 RPM, and it just dies at 4,000. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just not very fun. So that's number two.
And that tune adds 76. It adds quite a bit of torque.
Yeah, so the tune does add torque, but like I said, the main thing for me is just, it increases up to, it doesn't fall flat at 4.
It lasts longer is what you want. You don't even need the extra as much as lasting longer.
So the third, fit and finish, and I'm talking primarily of the panel gaps, the rear quarter panel there. So, yeah, the panel gaps are awful in this thing. And by the way, even before I bought this car, I had looked at various Mustangs on the lot, the GT's Ecoboost, even the GT350. Every Mustang on the lot had this issue. I haven't been out to a lot lately. I haven't looked at the 19s. I don't know if Ford's fixed it, but seriously, every car I looked at had this problem. Come on, Ford, you can fix it. It's not that. It shouldn't be that hard to fix that. You pay good money for a new car. You don't expect the panel gas to be so bad. Number 4 on my list, and of course this is in no particular order. Sound. It's too darn quiet. Now I realize this doesn't have the active exhaust, but come on, you'd think it'd have a little more sound than it does. It's very quiet. I actually like the sound of the motor. I think it has a good note to it, but it's just so quiet coming from the factory. I do realize it's a 4-cylinder car, but it's just way too quiet. Speaking of that, that brings me to this point, I have upgraded to the Flowmaster Outlaw Flowmaster Outlaw Axleback exhaust. Lost my train of thought there. have updated, I have had those installed on the car. Did it a couple weeks ago. I do like the sound. It's an improvement, but again, it's a 4-cylinder. It's got its limitations, but it's certainly better than stock. I'll say that. Yeah, the sound just isn't there. I thought about getting the active exhaust, but just the extra price, I just really didn't want to pay for that feature, and I figured I would be getting aftermarket exhaust at some point anyway, which I did. So number 4, sound. Number 5, no badging. Now I do realize, the badges have usually been reserved for the GTs. But this car, it's just kind of plain without any badging. That's my opinion. And you would think, at least with the performance pack, maybe at that point, maybe for that they'd put a badge on it or something. Now, I know in 2020 they're going to have the high performance version, and it will have badging on it. Speaking of the badges, I have added the badges to both front quarter panels. The 2.3T. The T is what makes it faster, so I gained like 10 horsepower there, so that's a good thing.
Well, the T is what makes it faster.
It is.
The turbo.
The T does make it faster, but the badge is an extra 10 on top.
That's true.
So,
that's true, yeah.
Where am I at, Nate? I'm just kind of driving around.
Just follow the detail.
Anyway, so, yes, it's just kind of playing out the badging. Again, I've added the 2.3T. To me, it's a nice improvement. I'd rather say 5.0, but give me a couple years and we'll have one with a 5.0 badge on it again, or maybe a few years. So,
6.
Number 6. The rear brake calipers. Okay, so they're just plain steel calipers. The front calipers, I've got the performance pack. So, up front, you get the bigger calipers, the painted gray. But the rear, they're just, come on. I think they could at least paint the rear ones as well. Just real plain. I could see if the base model didn't have it. But, if you're going to get the performance pack, at least paint the calipers. How much it can't cost them that much to do that. I think it's just real plain, and they're starting to show rust already. So yeah, it would have been nice if the rear calipers were painted at least to match the front. I mean, the front and back calipers don't even match. So that's number 6. Okay, for the last one, and again, this is in no particular order, but number 7 out of the almost top 10 things I hate about this car is the ride height. I think it just sits a little too high. I bought a Ford Mustang, it's not a Ford Explorer. I just think, it'd be nice if it was a little lower, at least an inch. It just seems like there's too much room in the fender wells there. I've actually thought about, and I don't really want to, but the more I, look at it, maybe get lowering springs. But yeah, I just think it sits a little too high, especially, again, it's performance pack. I don't even know if the performance pack sits a little lower than the base Ecoboost. I don't think that it does, but yeah, I just think it sits a little too high. It'd be nice if it sat a little lower. It would look better. Obviously, probably handle a little better too. But yeah, those are the top 7. My top 10 things I hate about my 2018 Ford Mustang Ecoboost. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.